Hello, hello, friends. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so happy that you are here. Hello, hi. If you are new here, my name is Talia Joy. Nice to meet you. I am an author, coach, podcast host, intuitive guide, and really, I look at it like I'm a transformation artist because that's what I do. I help my clients as well as myself to continue to transform in this life because that's what self-growth is. We have all come a long way from what we were, and we are all stepping into where we're headed, and it's really all about transformation. So here on this show, we take everything that we've learned in the last few years. I know you're not a newbie to self-growth, so we take the healing work and the manifestation work and the self-growth, personal development. We take rewiring the brain, nervous system work, and we really bring it all together to talk about what it truly takes to make the change in your life that you have been wanting to make. And today's episode is going to be so good if you can relate to that, because we're talking about Scared-Cited again, but we're talking about it today, how this is the moment before you up level. This is the moment before the next level becomes real. And if you didn't tune into the last episode, or you haven't come and found me on Instagram, hey, come find me on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram and you haven't heard me talk about Scared-Cited before, this is the point before your next level where we are equal parts scared and excited. This is where we are excited and thrilled and lit up and almost like, oh, it's happening, or I want it to happen, or I can't believe it's going to happen, or I'm on the way. It is happening. We are on the path. We are excited, but we are also, sometimes equal parts, sometimes just a little bit, but usually quite a lot bit scared. It's terrifying. Sometimes our next level is terrifying. And before we go further, I just want to almost make the terrifying part completely human, as I did in the last episode and as I like to always do. But when we are scared, it's not because we are scared, like we are like a scaredy cat. It's almost like it is so big and nerve-wracking to be on that next level, because the fear comes up, the like, what if it fails, or what if I'm doing the wrong thing, or here we actually are, right? That is normal. It's normal to be scared. If anyone has ever asked anyone on a date, it's probably scary, right? If you've ever started a business, if you've ever gone for the promotion, even starting a new day at a new job, right? All of these things are scary, and there are lots of things in life that are scary, right? Almost everything from, taking your driving test, booking a big trip, as I said, asking someone out or going out on a first date. There's lots of things that are scary that are also good at the same time. So that's what we're talking about today, and how this Scared-Cited space is right before your next level. And again, before we go further, I just want to say too that the fact that you are scared, nervous, fearful, whatever, and also excited, this is the biggest sign that not only are you on the verge of your next level, but you are a self-growth junkie who is pushing themselves out of their comfort zone. So that's the first thing I like to do with my clients, and like to say to my clients and even my friends when they're like, oh my God, this happened or that happened, and I'm nervous, or, I'm scared. And it's like, wow, you are really going for it. You're going for big things. You are not a passive sort of like oatmeal beige, I'm just going to settle for a life that's unfulfilling type of person. Nuh-uh, right? So the fact that you're Scared-Cited, the fact that you're nervous but also excited, that is the biggest and best sign that, first of all, you're awesome, you're scrappy, you're resilient, you're committed to self-growth, and you're going after big things. So I really acknowledge you for that first. Okay, so I feel like I want to just kind of get right into the content of the episode, but before we do, I wanted to share that for the first time in over a year, I am opening up a live coaching container over the summer of 2026. It is open now, and it is called Scared-Cited. And this is a 4-week container where we're taking everything we're talking about today and living it and implementing it into your life. So if you are going after the next big thing, maybe you're building or expanding a a business. Maybe you're starting a creative thing, like writing a book, starting a podcast, a YouTube channel, something like that. Maybe you are on the verge of becoming the next version of yourself. You're not waiting anymore. You're taking yourself seriously. Maybe you're going all in on your health and it's time to nourish yourself, put yourself first. Or maybe you're entering a new chapter where you're leaving behind old versions of yourself. You're changing careers, you're moving. Maybe relationships are ending and you're in an in-between place. This is who this program is for, so I am really excited. Make sure to check the link below. We already have you guys filling up the spots, and it's going to be a mix of get shit done energy, self-growth, and mentorship mixed with an excited space to root you on. We're going to do it as a group. We're going to have Zoom calls and a WhatsApp space, everything you need to stay accountable to move forward over 4 weeks in the summer. So make sure to check that below. I am so excited. I'm so excited to share this new energy with you guys as well. Everything that I've been through in the last year, the last 6 months, the massive transformation, I'm going to share it all. And I'm so excited. All right. So, and on top of that, if you have not come and found me on Instagram, I mentioned it a minute ago, come and find me. It is at Talia Joy Manifestation. And if you have not grabbed a copy of my book and you yourself are about transformation, I would be so honored if you grabbed a copy. I know you're going to love it. It is such a good book. The link is below and it's called The Delicate Art of Transformation. And it takes you from where you are into your next level. All right, let's dive into this episode. So take a deep breath. Drop your shoulders, take a sip of water, and let's dive in. So I think that almost every single meaningful transformation or meaningful, leap that you take in your life begins with the same feeling. And that feeling is not certainty. It's not confidence. It's not clarity. And when we're going into something, we like to sit at the first step or square one or just, where we are in our journey and think that everyone that moves forward, or in order to move forward, we need to be clear. The people that are out there doing the thing, they must have had certainty. They must have had confidence and clarity. So we, kind of have that perception from where we are to where we want to be. We think we need certainty. And that is not what we need. On the brink of every meaningful transformation, we will feel a mix of a whisper inside saying, it's time. You're made for this. This has been on your heart for a long time. Let's focus on this. It's time. We're so excited, right? There'll be one part of you saying that. And then there's another part of you whispering, what if I can't? What if it fails? Am I actually ready? Sometimes my inner voice is just literally whispering like, holy fuck, we can't do this. Never mind. Delete. It's like we want to backtrack. And again, we spend so much time thinking and believing that we either shouldn't have fear, or when fear shows up, it means there's something wrong. We often go, for all of you self-healing junkies, hey, what up? We usually go to this must be my root wound, right? It's my root wound of a lack of self-worth, or of feeling, alone, or feeling weak, or feeling not enough. We must need more healing. And that's actually not what it is. It's a sign that something matters, that you're really sitting there, like the totality of that voice that goes, oh, it's time and let's do it, mixed with what if I can't? Oh my God, holy crap. The even bigger sort of orb of that voice or overall thing is really just the tone of like, oh my God, right? That is you on the level or on the brink of your next level. That is you going after something meaningful. So I want to talk about the thing. So the thing that you're either going to bring to the Scared-Cited program, or the thing that you want to think of right now in your mind. Okay. And this is the thing that you are going after. The thing that it is time. It is time to prioritize your goals, yourself, your dreams, that next level. Because I have a lot of clients who are entrepreneurs. I have a lot of clients who are starting creative endeavors, like I was mentioning, podcast, book, that stuff. I have clients who are stepping into that healthier version of themselves. They're moving their body, they're doing their mindfulness practices, they're putting themselves first. And these are all you on the brink of your next chapter. So think about the thing that you are on the brink of, whether it's more tangible, like a business or a podcast, or it's that inner level that I'm talking about. And in some ways, it almost doesn't matter what the thing is. And I don't mean that it doesn't matter. I just mean that the pattern underneath it is going to be relatively the same. And I know for myself, it's the same. And I mentioned this when I first hosted my retreat last year. There was the biggest mix for like 6 months. The mix of, I'm so excited, I can't believe I'm finally doing this, and holy shit, I need to cancel. Like the amount of times in my mind, I'm like, I should just probably cancel. Like, what if everything doesn't work? What if and I've shared with you guys my biggest fear. And that's just kind of what my brain was saying is like, what about like all the down payments I make? And if not enough people sign up, and then I'm going to lose money, and there's going to be like one person on this retreat and it's going to be so awkward. There was so many things my brain was saying that were telling me like we should probably just cancel. And that's a similar pattern, or almost like the same narrative that comes up when I do other big things, when I launch other things, or I'm going after things in my own personal life. There's this feeling of like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then this feeling of like, man, never mind, right? I could just cancel. So again, the pattern underneath is relatively the same, no matter what the big thing is, whether it's time to prioritize your health, like I've done in the last year in a completely different way, or maybe it's time to nurture your business, grow a thing, get down to business and focus. Whatever it is, the pattern that you will experience will be similar. You're excited, you're scared, you move forward a bit, and then we hesitate, or we overthink, or we wonder if we're ready, all those things, right? I want to like backtrack, control, alt, delete, whatever. I want to wait for certainty. I want to cancel. I want to say like, never mind, nothing to see here, and like, fancy dance out of the room and never come back. That's kind of just what I want to do. But for you, it may be different. It might be fear starts running, or if you have a really busy mind, it might be like, what if this happens? What if that happens? What should I do? Or we're just worried. What if I'm not taking the next right step? What if I'm wasting time or money on this thing and it's not even the right thing, right? I have a lot of clients like that, and it's completely normal, as I'm saying. So I want to talk for a second about what's really happening, because we're going to talk in this episode how we move forward with things even when we're scared. That's the core of what we're talking about. So it's really important to understand, and of course we're going to go into this in the program, that nothing is wrong. And I've already touched on that, right? All these feelings really just mean you're going after your next level. You're not complacent in your life. You're doing scary shit, and that's scary. So nothing is inherently wrong. And I really want you to hear that. And I really want you to breathe into that. No matter what you say, even if you're like, no, but I've been procrastinating the last month, or, oh no, but like I could do this and I just haven't, it's still, there's nothing wrong. When you step into something meaningful, when you step toward something meaningful, every single step I took toward the retreat, from the initial phone calls to the scariest moment of putting down that deposit to opening the sales page, like along the way, there were probably 100 different steps where my nervous system kicked in and tried to halt me, tried to make me bolt, avoid, shut it down. So that's what I want to talk about for a second. When you step towards something meaningful, your nervous system notices, because your nervous system doesn't anticipate success. Like your actual nervous system, made up of an entire system throughout your whole body of nerves, obviously, that are connected also to the brain, and the body and the brain are always working together. So this system is not about like dreaming forward and knowing what you're made of and, go get it, girl. Like that's not what your nervous system is about. It is only about familiarity. So its job isn't to help you reach your dreams in any way. Its job is to keep you alive. So when you begin stepping into something unfamiliar, I know we've talked about this a lot, but it's important to realize it when you're at this point, when you're scared-cited. So when you step into something unfamiliar, when you launch the business, when you publish the episode, when I did any of my retreat steps, when I go to take my health seriously, when, I commit to the thing, the body immediately says, the nervous system, but the body says, this is new. And we often register this is new as this is wrong because that fear comes up. We want to shut down. We want to avoid all the things we're talking about. But it's only that our nervous system is saying this is new. Therefore, it's not guaranteed. It's not safe. It's not certain. Right? And that's a way better way to even think of safety, because some people go like, what do you mean it's not safe? Like all I'm doing is hiring a coach or starting a business. But it's about certainty that you're going to be okay. And nothing that we do in life really has that certainty. I'm not going to be all dark, but no day is guaranteed to us. We don't know if this investment that you're going to make in a coach or in a business or in a whatever is going to go perfectly, if there's going to be hiccups, if it was the right thing, the wrong thing. I don't even believe necessarily in right and wrong, because I believe that all paths take us to our success as long as we are learning and growing and continuing to focus on what it is that we want. But your nervous system says this is new, this is uncertain. But we often feel it as like, not this is wrong, but almost more like something's wrong. Like I'm terrified and now I'm avoiding my emails. Something is wrong. I need to just be more disciplined, right? I need to be more motivated. These are the things that we tend to tell ourselves. But all this is us being scared-cited. This is the moment that we are excited and we have fear, and these things exist together. This is the place where possibility meets discomfort. Hear that, right? So what if it was possibility meeting discomfort? Not just fear, not just, like limiting beliefs. It's discomfort. It's uncomfortable to be in a new space, to ask someone out, to launch. Like, can you imagine the first time I launched this podcast and I put it out into the world? Like, it was terrifying. I was totally scared-cited. I was so excited and so lit up, but I was also so terrified, right? This is where possibility meets discomfort. Your next level is asking more of you than your current comfort zone. And that's kind of it. Whenever we say like, okay, this week I'm going to reach out to these people, do some networking, I'm going to start doing that, move this forward. All it is our next level is asking for more than our current comfort zone feels okay with. So this is the point when we're scared-cited and we feel that like we're terrified, we're scared, we're excited, we're all the things, we're very confused. I know it's confusing for me. But what we usually do is we start thinking we need more clarity. We got to wait till next month. I love the one of like, I got to wait till I have more money or wait till I have more time. It almost always comes down to time or money. And underneath that, it's almost never about time or money. Anyway, but we start thinking, I'll start after the summer. I need another course. I need to learn about this. I need a better website before I can even start putting my business out there. And fear will wear these coats, as we talked about a few episodes back. And so I want to now also talk about something that doesn't work that we tend to do. And I see coaches doing this, like well-intended coaches, mentors. It's a freaking logo for a company. And this is the just do it mentality. So I get it. I talk a lot here about duality and how two things can be true at the same time. There's a time and a place to be like, just do it, right? We're talking about do it scared. This is what we're doing in the program Scared-Cited. We are just doing it. We are doing it through that fear. But when you're in this place of scared-cited, and people say, like, just take action, just do it. And it's something that you've been toiling with, you've been thinking about, you've been planning for weeks or months or years. The just take action piece, like I almost want to be like, wow, thanks tips. It's like if you hired a coach for 10 grand to work with them for a few months and they're like, just do it, just take action. Okay, see you next Monday. That is not what you need. The nervous system does not feel supported when you say to yourself, I just got to do it. I just got to fucking get focused. On the weekend, I'm just going to do it. I just got to do it. This force usually creates resistance. And if the just do it was going to work, it'll work on like the first pass. Meaning if I'm, wanting to go out for a nice walk or a workout today or something like that, and I'm kind of procrastinating, I'm like, you know what, Talia, just do it. Put on your shoes, just go. If that works and I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right, put on my shoes and go, then there is a place to be like, just do it, just get out there, right? But when it's something, as I said, that you've been dealing with, planning out something really important that's been on your heart for days or weeks or months or years, we're past the just do it. We need a different angle. And this is why I don't teach hustle. My clients get a lot done and have rapid transformations in a very short amount of time. Yo, what up, clients? You know what I'm talking about? But it's never through hustle. I teach intelligent expansion. And I don't just mean intelligent, like you're smart or you're not smart, or it's for smart people. I mean doing it in a way that is nurturing yourself, that is intelligent to your body, to your system, that is aware. Because the more you say, just do it, just fucking do it, just write down the thing and take the step, like we all know that. If it worked, that would just work for all of us. And I could just say to my clients, just do it. I'll see you next Monday. And that would be enough, but it's not. So whenever I notice, we're going to get into now the methodology of what we do in this space when we are scared-cited, how we actually start to move forward, because I know that's why you're here, and that's why those of you joining the program are going to join the program. But the first thing we do is we introduce space. And I know, to my type A's, to my busy minds, to my plan, girlies, homies, people out there, I know that creating space feels frustrating and counterintuitive. But before we slingshot forward, that's a perfect example. Before the slingshot forward, there is a pull back, right? So there needs to be a pull back to spring forward. There needs to be a ground down to rise up. No plant in the universe bolts up before creating roots. So this is what I'm talking about. So before we push, before you go out and take a bunch of action and just tell yourself, just do it, I want you to pause. In the program, we're going to start in this place of I want to hear all the goals. If you're confused about where to start, if you need clarity, whatever, I want to hear all about it. If you know exactly what you're doing and exactly why you need help in 4 weeks to start the podcast and that's what you're doing, then awesome. I want to hear all about it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to do a practice. I want you to pause. I want you to breathe, ground yourself, and I want you to start to prioritize. So we need to slow down first, and then we need to prioritize. So some of my clients, a lot of my clients have a ton of different goals and desires. It might be their health, and it's a business, and it's a career change, and it's a relationship change. And that's great. Some people, they know they're starting the podcast. That's what they're doing. But still, no matter where you're at, however much clarity you have, you still need to prioritize. Out of all the ideas, or all the first steps you could take, what is the thing? What is the thing that you are ready to do, the next micro action that you can easily do that starts to build your confidence? What is the thing to focus on next? And I'm going to help you do that in the program. We're going to have one-on-one coaching, the opportunity for all of us to speak one-on-one so that I can give you direct guidance. So we need to slow down first. That's step one. And then we need to prioritize. And this could just be today. You need to slow down, prioritize what you're focusing on. Maybe it's to do with your whole goal. Again, people vary in how much clarity they have and where they're at in their journey. But either way, we need to start to prioritize just the thing to do today. Just the low-hanging fruit, the most important next step, the step that boosts your momentum. And then what we need to do is, as we are prioritizing, I want you to acknowledge to yourself that you're standing on the edge of growth. And of course it feels big. And of course your body is responding. And of course it's scary because you're becoming someone you've never been before. You've never been someone with a podcast or with this next step you're going to take, or someone that prioritizes themselves, or someone that's writing the book or finishing the book. You haven't been there before. So I'm going to get all of you in the program, as well as right now, to celebrate yourself instead of criticizing yourself. So when we are in this scared-cited space, the first 3 things to do is to slow down, take some breaths, go for a walk, go to the ocean, breathe, ground yourself, grab a notebook, do a meditation, just slow down for a minute. And then we clearly prioritize. And when I'm helping you in the program, and while I also help my clients, I'm also pulling intuitive information, because sometimes the next steps it's sneaky what is important, because sometimes that fear comes up and it tries to get us to, again, like, you got to tweak your website for the next 2 months before you can pitch your thing. And that's not always true. So we really want to prioritize from our highest self, from our heart, from a bigger perspective. Out of all the things, all the ideas, all the next steps, what is the thing you're going to do today? And some people like to have 3 things they get done in a day. Some people it's one, maybe it's one big thing this week. Either way, it's all good, but we need to prioritize. So first is to slow down, second is to prioritize, and third is to acknowledge as you go to do a thing, as you go to take an action. This is big. So as fear comes up, we can say to ourselves, this is normal. We can celebrate ourselves instead of criticizing it. There's so many times when I was launching the retreat that I would be like, oh my God, I'm terrified. And telling my husband, like, I'm terrified, but this is because it's huge. And I'd almost be like hyperventilating with probably like a crazy ass look on my face, like, because it was scary. But continuing to acknowledge it's just big. It's big wrapped in a scary wrapper. It's just big. This is expansion. This is aliveness. This is something you've never done before. And I know that in the program, we're going to have such high vibes around this because as we move into that next level, as you have that support and that bridge support to bring you into that next level, it is so exhilarating. So as we start to wrap up in the program and to continue this methodology, after we start to, prioritize the next actions, prioritize what we're focusing on, acknowledge ourselves over and over and over again of how big this is every time we start to feel scary, putting our hand on our heart. And I have nervous system practices for you guys to be doing that in the program. But the things I want to touch on, I'm not going to go into the whole methodology, but the thing I want to touch on next is recognizing that at any one time, we can choose again. Every point is a new point. So even if you've wanted to focus on your health for like 10 years, or maybe you've been wanting to do this business thing for 6 months and you haven't been, whatever it is, you can choose again. And what I'm going to get you to do in the program and what I recommend right now is starting to do some of the classic work I've taught here for years about imagining yourself on the other side, imagining the part of you, the version of you that has taken the action, that has started the podcast, that has prioritized their health for the last month or 2 months, the part of you, the version of you that is taking the steps. And it might not be the end result, like all of a sudden you're a multimillionaire or all of a sudden you're in, the health and fitness that you've been desiring, but just a couple months in the future, the you that has been taking action and recognizing that we can choose again in this moment. We can choose a next thought that is aligned with that version. We can choose our next response. We can choose a tiny action or a really big action with tools, right? We can choose again today. We can choose again tomorrow. So you can start to choose again in aligned actions to merge into that version of you. So if you're, wanting to look after your health and you haven't been, and, maybe you're going to join the program and we're going to really focus on it for the next month and I'm going to help you take those steps, recognizing even now that you can choose your next thought. You can choose the way you talk to yourself around this. So starting right now, right as you're listening to this, in this moment right now, starting to choose again, starting to align your energy with that version of you. So take a deep breath and roll your shoulders back. And feel yourself sink into your center. That version of you, they are and were scared. They are and were nervous. But what are they doing differently? How are they speaking to themselves as they focus on themselves, as they focus on their goals, as they take those actions? Who are they being with themselves? How are they nurturing themselves? How are they waking up in the morning? What are their routines? Not in perfection, but in inspiration, because you can always choose again. And no matter where you're at with your goals, I want you to right now say, this feels big. I'm kind of scared-cited because this is such a big thing, but I'm fucking doing it. And fear is part of it. So I want you to say this to yourself. I am doing it. Fear is part of it. It's okay. I can align my thoughts, my energy, my tiny little actions with what I want. And I can do it scared. I can be nervous. That's okay. I'm on the brink of something huge. That is the gift of being human. We have free will, and you have the choice to choose again, to adopt a new energy, to take a micro action, to nurture yourself in a new way to ensure your success. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, and of course we're going to go into this in the program, but I know that why you're here and in this episode, you are here because you want to move through the excited, scared place, right? So we're talking about how to take action when you're scared, how to move through it even if you're nervous. So this is a key part that I touched on a minute ago, and it kind of goes along with, it's the dark side of the just do it mentality, and we are often not taught about this. And what it is we need to expand intelligently. And this is where transformation becomes sustainable. So I've heard it described like this before, and I really like this. Sustainability is when we are making progress in something, but we're not creating other problems as we go. So a sustainable business is one that is growing, is becoming, profitable and growing each year, but is not creating bigger problems or other problems as you go. So sustainable health is moving forward in your health, becoming more healthy without causing other problems, such as restricting your food or cutting out, carbs altogether or doing something that is unsustainable, right? So this is where we need to keep moving, but also support ourselves. We need to take incremental upgrades, as I love to talk about, and I used to talk about a lot at the beginning of the show, taking incremental upgrades, but we need to do this while taking care of ourselves, while taking care of our body. Even if your goals are to do with corporate or a business or writing a book, you still need to look after your body. You need to rest. You need to make sure you're hydrated. You need to make sure you're getting adequate nutrition. And the more you look after your body, because it's your portal, the more your other goals flourish, even if they have nothing to do with your body. So we need to be resting. We need to be looking after our nervous system. We need to be taking care of the relationship we have with our goals, okay? So the relationship you have with your goal, the relationship you have with your business, the relationship you have with your own productivity, that is a place that we need to expand intelligently. We need to look after ourselves. We need to take adequate time off. It's just like I've used the example a million times of the athlete, right? If somebody is a performance athlete, they are taking rest days. They are resting muscle groups. They're resting their whole body in certain ways. They are taking downtime that will help to even out or to balance out all of the working out. So we need to take that into our lives, and we need to expand intelligently so that transformation becomes sustainable. Because even if you muster up all the just do it energy and take that one next step, what happens if that doesn't pan out the way you want? Or what happens when it immediately asks you for another step? If we don't expand intelligently, we will collapse. And that collapse looks like we start avoiding, we start shutting down, we start gently pushing away what it is that we want. We're not answering our emails, we're not answering our calls, we stop going for walks because we became overloaded. It's the same as being injured if you were an athlete. So we need to expand intelligently. Any athletic coach would give the same type of advice where you need to build the muscle intelligently, not just go in there and be like, Coach, I'm just going to do 2 hours of glutes. I should be good by next week to have that goal matched, or that goal met. It's just not the way it works. We have to expand intelligently. And the nervous system is such a big part of that. So why we need to do this is because as we expand intelligently, we are building our capacity, this is to do with the nervous system, but building our capacity for success. Success isn't something that's just created in your mind. It's not just something you want and then you get or don't get. We have to build our capacity to receive success, to be able to hold success, to be able to hold the stressors that come along with success. Because if you have more money or a bigger team, or you go for the job, or you hold more responsibility in your office job, these types of things will require more of you. You don't just get it and then you're good. Everything we do, more money equals different financial decisions. Maybe it's more taxes. Maybe it's more to investments. Maybe you're paying your team more. More money, more problems, right? And I don't actually believe that more money creates more problems, but what I mean is that we have to build our capacity to hold more responsibility, our bigger dreams, more on the line. And that's why, as we expand intelligently, we are actually building our capacity to hold up our success, just like the plants. If the plants have adequate time to build their roots, no matter how long it takes, some plants literally bloom in August and some bloom in June. No matter how long it takes, they still need to grow the root system to support the big stalks and the big flowers or the tree that's going to grow. So that is holding your capacity for success is like the tree having big enough roots to hold what it's going to take for it to be 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 100 feet tall. It needs adequate roots. That's why we need to expand intelligently, is not just right now to nurture yourself through it and like you can do it and into your next step. It's not just about that. It's practicing the muscle. We build our capacity for success. All right, you guys. So as we start to wrap up, if you are in this scared-cited space, first of all, we need to take a pause. It's okay. You're going to feel a lot of emotion as far as like fear and, maybe even it feels like anxiety, anticipation. It's scary. It's exciting, all that. It's all good. The first thing we're going to do is take a deep breath and take a pause. And then we're going to prioritize. Out of all the ideas, out of all the next steps, what's the low-hanging fruit? What's the next thing to do today? To do this week, and making sure that is grounded and aligned, not just like I could do that and I could do that and I could do that. Okay, pick one. Or if they're micro actions, pick 3. However you work best, you want to start to prioritize what is actually important. We don't want to be jack of all trades, master of none. We don't want to go into our health journey or creating the podcast with just like splatter paint energy. We want to prioritize. And then we want to acknowledge when this fear comes up, when the avoidance comes up, when the confusion or the procrastination comes up, we want to acknowledge that we're standing at the edge of real growth. This is big adult pants type of growth, right? So of course it feels big. Of course our body is responding. Of course we want to shut down and ignore it and, just like disappear for the weekend that turns into the week. It's all good. You're becoming someone you've never been before. So I want to celebrate that in you instead of criticizing any behavior that comes out of that fearful place. And it's all good. We all have it, right? And then we're going to acknowledge that you can choose again. You have free will to align with that next version of yourself and start talking to yourself like that. Start nurturing your body like that. Start acknowledging if you have a big day tomorrow with lots of decisions, maybe getting a really good night's rest today. Maybe meal prepping tomorrow so that when you're on the go, you have something, ready to eat so you don't get hangry. It's choosing again, choosing your next tiny action, choosing again today, choosing again tomorrow, choosing to merge with that energy, choosing to acknowledge yourself instead of criticizing yourself. Choosing to join the program, get support, get the help to move forward. Whatever you're going to do from here, you can choose again. And that is the beauty of being human. And then as you move forward in that, you want to focus on expanding intelligently, not all or nothing, not just guns a-blazing. Again, if you were going to run a marathon, if you just started from goal line with your intention to just like go as fast as you can, you're going to burn out. You're probably not going to win the race. You're going to pull a hamstring. You're going to be out of chia gel in like the first couple kilometers, and it's not going to work out. We build our capacity for success. Okay, I hope that this served you. And honestly, you guys, if you're feeling this program, I am so excited for. Come on in, join the group. This is going to be so good over the summer. I know we have lots of stuff going on. The summer can be a little bit all over the place, but this is the time to move forward. We are doing it scared. We are doing it with tools, with mentorship, with guidance, because support is what makes us able to do it. Whether we get support from someone who's doing something similar to us, we get support from a coach, from a mentor. Athletes have a coach for a reason. This is what gets you over that finish line, especially if you are scared-cited. So I know that people joining don't need just a ton of ongoing information. You need support while you become the person who is doing this. And this is exactly what this program is. It's a bridge. It will boost you up. It will give you tools. It will give you accountability, community, and support. We're going to celebrate you. We're going to meet you in the hard stuff when resistance comes up, and you are going to move forward into that next level. And I cannot wait to support you in that. So make sure to check the link below for Scared-Cited. Come on in. It's going to be so powerful. So as we wrap up, I want to ask you a couple questions. Take a deep breath. What is the thing that you're scared-cited about? What keeps calling you? What would change if you interpreted your fear as expansion? How can you create more space this week to slow down and prioritize? And what is one small aligned action that you can do today that your future self would thank you for? All right, my love, I truly hope that this served you. If you're scared-cited, me too. We are moving through, we are doing the thing, because maybe your next level was never about becoming fearless. Maybe it's asking you to be more trusting, to look at your goals with maturity, with groundedness, taking that with that fierce get shit done energy that you have. But we want to do that in a grounded, intentional way, because maybe your next chapter isn't built in the one big leap that you take when you're finally ready. Maybe it's built right now in small, courageous moments. Success is not just about the I did it moment. Success is built in the right now. True grit and success and resilience is born in the right now. One choice, one workout, one day at a time. Okay, I hope to see you in Scared-Cited, and I also hope to see you in the next episode. All right, my love, have a great day, and until next time, namaste.